Hey everyone, it is 8:45 in the morning on this Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to a lot of you. I've got about 15 minutes before I clock into work. I thought I was supposed to do it at 8:30, but obviously it's at 9 o'clock and it's 9 to 5:30 today, so go figure with that. But I thought I'd kind of do this little bit of a special Valentine's Day discussion. You see, there are several fictional couples that a lot of fans support, but I'm going to talk about two. I'm going to talk about Sonic and Sally from Sonic the Hedgehog franchise, SonicxSally and the comic books, whatever, and from MLP FIM, Rarity and Spike. Now, let's start with Rarity and Spike, because that's going on about 7 years, that friendship between the two and all that. But a lot of people have basically succumbed to the fact that there is no way that Hasbro or whoever will finally, Megan McCarthy, whoever, Laura Frous, whoever's in charge, whoever writes, that there is no way they're going to finally allow Spike and Rarity to become an item because of, well, practically not just the species difference and not just maybe the age difference, which I don't think there's much of an age difference, but due to the fact that I guess he's a dragon, she's a pony. But here's why I think that argument's going to become invalid. Here's why I think it's going to become invalid. Now, recently we've gotten a reveal of some of the characters they're going to be encountering in the new movie. We got a glimpse of some of the characters they're going to encounter in the new movie. And I'll say this. The designs of the characters look good. They really do. Some have said that they're very Disney-ish in design almost, which I wouldn't be surprised if that's the inspiration. Let's just hope it doesn't come back to bite them. But here's where I think that argument's going to become invalid. One, they're going to change species to interact obviously with these other creatures. Of course, they're going to meet up with this new, what's her name, Princess Sky Star or Star Sky or whatever, who's a sea pony. They're this incarnation of a sea pony. They're going to meet up with her, so they got to basically transform, shapeshift, whatever, into sea ponies to interact. They're going to meet this Capper Cat, so obviously who's a pirate or something like that, debonair pilot, whatever you want to call him, which will obviously play into the whole Rarity situation. Probably, maybe somebody else like Fluttershy, we don't know. So that's a species right there they're going to have to shapeshift into as well. So they're going to have to become that character, and who knows, they might do a freaking, ooze-like character if they meet some of that. We don't know. But my point is, they got to test out the spells. Now we know this has been done before in an episode where they met these little sprites, these fairies, whatever they were. Storyline-wise, they're going to play on the fact that when these characters shapeshift, that when the main six shapeshift into these characters, thanks to obviously Twilight's magic, that just like in that episode, it's going to be a challenge for them because they're going to like they're going to like the form they're in, especially the interaction with certain characters and all that. But and they're going to want to they're going to be challenged whether or not they want to go back or stay, in the shape that they are now in. So I know that's going to be a conflict. But here's why I say the whole Spike Rarity thing, the whole Spike Rarity not happening thing is going to become invalid. You see, this is going to be the most that Twilight's magic's going to be taxed at, when it comes to shape-shifting herself and her friends. She's going to be doing it numerous times in this movie, from what I understand. Maybe I'm wrong. So I think what's going to happen is they're going to shape-shift. She's going to test it out on Spike. I think that's what's going to happen. She's going to shape-shift Spike and momentarily she might shapeshift him into a pony, into a male pony, and he's gonna shape. I've got a feeling if that happens, and I think it might, he's gonna shapeshift into an attractive male pony that's gonna get Rarity's attention. Like, she finds him cute and everything, and sweet and lovable and all that now, but if he gets tested on to see, to make sure that the magic is still there, to make sure she'll have plenty of magic, then I won't be surprised if Hasbro pulls that out of the hat and Twilight shapeshifts him into a pony, a handsome pony that gets Rarity's attention, and then that's when the whole, hey, maybe there is something there between them. It's just the only thing holding them back is the difference in species. In other words, him being a small dragon, her being a pony. I think, should that moment happen in the movie, that's what's really going to, I think, make that argument of Spike Rarity is not going to happen invalid. It's going to make it invalid. So I truly believe that Spike and Rarity, something's gonna happen in the movie. Something's gonna happen in the movie that is going to validate it. That's going to validate Spike and Rarity being an item or something like that, or becoming an item. Like, okay, Spike will go back to being a dragon again, but after the movie, he'll be with Rarity finally. He and Rarity will be together. I just get this feeling. I get this feeling with all the plot reveals and synopsis of the characters got to go through these different transformations and all that when they interact with all these newer characters and or just outside of Equestria and Ponyville, that I think they kind of test the magic out to make sure she's got plenty of magic still in her, or to make sure she still remembers the spell right. I think they're going to have Twilight test it out on Spike, and at the moment she tests it out, turns him into a pony, which could happen, not saying it will. That might be an ironic moment that Rarity comes in, boom, she sees Spike as a pony, and bam, there's an attraction right there, and it's like, that starts the steps, that starts the process. So, and let's not forget, they got Rarity singing in here. If you look at the cast, you got the original cast members for the main six, but you also have Rarity with two casting choices: her original voice actor or actress, and a singing voice. So you got two voices for Rarity. So it tells you Rarity is going to play a role, singing-wise, in the movie. So I look at it this way: they built it up, they teased it, I think, in the second season, or they basically not teased it, but they kind of focused on it in the second season, first season, whatever. So I really think it's going to come full circle. I could be wrong, but I think Spike and Rarity, it has to happen. It has to, because you're building up to this movie. You're going on 7 seasons. You got this synopsis going around that the characters are going to have to change species, shapeshift into these different creatures to interact with all these other new characters. So I think that's going to help validate Spike and Rarity being together, because there could be a moment in there where he turns into a pony, maybe she turns into a small dragon, who knows? And there you go. I think something's going to happen in that movie, maybe even in the 7th season, that leads into the movie, that's going to validate it. Now, as far as Sonic and Sally goes, let me check my time here. I got about 6 minutes. As far as Sonic and Sally go, I mean, a lot of people want to, still ask me to talk about this and, why I support it. The reason I support it, probably more so than any other couple, Bunny and Antron being below it, Rouge and Knuckles there, Rouge, Julie Sue, and yes, even Sonic Amy, depending on the version, the incarnation that you're seeing, like Sonic X, Sonic X-wise, yeah, sure, go ahead and go in that direction if you want to. Or even Sonic Boom. But the reason a lot of people support Sonic and Sally is because this has been a couple, and I mean, you take a look at Superman and Lois Lane, and then Peter Parker, Mary Jane, and all that. and how long those friendships turned into, how long those friendships turned to relationships have gone on. Yes, you've had a lot of writers and all that try to end the relationships, try to retcon the relationships, but it's always come at such a negative backlash. And even Ian Flynn, even though he was trying to stay out of the whole romance subplot here between them, I think Ian Flynn realizes that if he was to at least attempt it, people would actually be happy about it. But here's the reason they work. Here's the reason SonicxSally work and why people support it. They have a balance between each other. Both are like a foil to the other. Both are like a foil to the other. Sally's a foil to Sonic's snarkiness and his, let's take care of things now, ask questions later attitude. And Sonic sometimes can be a foil to her, like, hey, you need to chill out. You need to, ease up. You don't need to be so serious. Stuff like that. So, to me, it's just a matter of the fact that they kind of complement each other in a foiling kind of way. And I think it's because, and the fact that you look at, depending on how you look at the origin and all that, they've been around each other since they were young. Depending on if you look at it from a new origin standpoint or original, they've been around each other since they were young. They know how each other thinks. So, and the fact that they've been through so much as characters. And for us that read the comics or have watched the show, we have witnessed it. That's why we support it. And again, it goes back to them complimenting each other, being foils for each other, kind of being that opposites attract kind of deal. But, so to me, that's why SonicxSally is such a good pairing. And, it's... I mean, you look at how many times from Ken Penders to Mike Gallagher to even Ian Flynn, how many times they have put SonicxSally back together. How many times a comic book story has had them come back together. And who knows who will attempt it next in the future. How many times? Several. More so than I think any other. Not just in Sonic, but any other comic book out there. Probably more so than we thought. And why? Because they know fans want to see it. They want to see it. Yeah, I mean, look, I get the fact that maybe Ian Flynn wasn't ready for some of the backlash he got, or maybe he was, with putting SonicxSally together and and all that. But you know what? Backlash is common when it comes to making decisions, and sometimes people may not like the decisions you make. But to me, again, you look at how many times putting these two back together has been attempted, has been done, and it shows you that even the writers realize how much fans love to see them together. I mean, heck, you basically in the first season you showcase it, you kind of play on it a little bit, not much, of Sat AM, and then in the second season you really kind of start hinting more towards something happening, and when you get towards Doomsday, boom, that's when you find out that they are together. They are now a couple. So to me, it shows you that depending on who writes it, what medium, fans want to see see them together, and it's because they just work well off each other. They're the perfect foils for each other. They complement each other very much, and that's why fans like me support them. So hopefully you guys got a kick out of this Valentine's Day video talking about SpikexRarity and the couples of SpikexRarity and SonicxSally. Let me know what you think down below. Comment if you like. Have a good Valentine's Day. I'm off to work, and I'll talk to you later.